What's up? That's a cool Ben Reilly's hoodies, that's right guys, and the comic book wall is back after 16 years. Welcome to my today's review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you guys been following me, yesterday I posted my reaction to the movie. I liked it, and of course there are some things that I did not like. Now today's review will not be a normally structurized review, right? I'm not really going through beginning of the movie, the middle of the movie, and then the end of the movie, right? We'll do something else. I'll just talk about everything like a mess, everything together. These days this is my style, you know, I prefer to talk about everything that comes into my mind first. I knew a lot of people will be excited about the comic book wall, but F you guys, I had to destroy some issues, even though not really good ones, not really rare ones. I've kept those for myself still, but yeah, as you can see, I'm also cosplaying as Mysterio in the background. So Spider-Man Brand New Day, fourth movie starring Tom Holland as Peter Parker, and here are my thoughts about this movie. Now, leading to this movie, there are lots and lots of different leaks. Some people claim that they've seen the movie, some people posted some legit spoilers, and as usually, I'm covering all of that stuff, right, when I'm talking about the movie, when I'm waiting for the movie. So now I'm a big boy now, so I will not cry about stuff like, oh my god, the leaks were more exciting than the movie, why this didn't happen, why Tombstone only had 4 seconds in the movie. Now it's alright, we don't do that here, right? But I will talk about leaks and what actually happened in the movie, and maybe just slight disappointment. The opening montage shows us Peter, who is not really as sad as we thought he would be, right? One of the leaks mentioned that the reason Peter is going through his transformation is because he's completely gone 100% Spider-Man. He completely ignores his personal life. No! Peter at the start of the Brand New Day is kinda normal, you know. Sure, he misses MJ, sure he misses Ned, but he has a bunch of friends, including Jean DeWolf, the police officer, and they talk, they hang around, they talk on phone, and he's smiling, you know, he's cracking jokes. Now it's also one of the greatest Spider-Man characteristics, right? No matter what happens, Spidey always tries to be positive, he always throws jokes and stuff like that, so it makes sense. But I was expecting Brand New Day to start a little bit more devastating, considering what happened in No Way Home. But no, Spidey is doing fine, you know, he's getting his hands on the key to the city. Everybody likes him, just like in Spider-Man 3, right? Remember that Tobey scene where he was about to get keys to the city as well? So he's doing fine, you know. And at that point I already thought, I told my wife who's sitting here, I said, you know, I don't think the transformation will be caused by his depression or his anxiety or something. I think it's just a natural thing, you know. The time has come for that spider DNA, you know, to slightly upgrade itself. The first act of the movie is without a doubt my favorite one. It's just so much is happening there, but it doesn't feel crowded. I've been reading a lot of reviews today when I woke up, and some of the negative ones, they mentioned that the movie is overstuffed, there's so much characters. Bro, buy glasses or something. There's not that many characters, especially if you're a fan of MCU, guys. We've seen Endgame, we've seen Infinity War. It's not 2007 when Spider-Man 3 came out and everybody was saying oh, there are too many villains, oh my god, this movie. No, Spider-Man 3 had a different problem. It was a writing problem. The amount of characters had nothing to do with it. So Brand New Day is not a crowded movie. It's structured pretty well, even though some parts of the movie drag a little bit. I'm slightly disappointed by the screen time of Boomerang, Tarantula, and Tombstone. Yeah, I have to confess, I was not so expecting that scenes of them from the trailer will be the ones in the movie. That's it, Boomerang does whatever, some Jackie Chan move, and that's it, 2 seconds, right? Especially considering that the art of the movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day book came out a few days before the release of the movie, which was going through concept artwork for Boomerang, how various designers from Marvel tried to make Boomerang costume sick. There was even a description of Boomerang's powers on the Spider Tracker website, one Boomerang is electric, one is toxic, you know. Where is all that, you know? Boomerang just flies there for 2 seconds and that's it. And all those rumors about MJ's new boyfriend playing Boomerang or Tom Holland's brother playing Boomerang, Forget about it, bro. We've seen the Funko Pop figure of Brand New Day, which says this is Brand New Day, but this is a No Way Home suit. So many people thought, oh wait, the movie will start with the No Way Home suit, right? The opening montage, 4 years has passed. No, the movie starts, it's Peter is creating that, upgrading whatever, his new costume, and that's it. He really wants to get back with Ned and MJ, and this is understandable. He promised MJ at the end of No Way Home, I will find you, I will explain everything to you. There is a lot to talk about MJ, I have some crazy theories as well. Shortly after the opening montage, we're getting introduced to the fact that something's wrong with Spidey. Even in the opening montage, Peter checks his wrist, there's like some pain or something, and he's like, that's weird, right? And then he takes some medicine as well, like headache or something. Something is wrong. So it's established quite early that something will go sideways. Stuff I really enjoyed is, of course, the opening scene, when he follows the tank. The web swinging is phenomenal. The CGI is absolutely breathtaking. This might be like probably the best web swinging scenes we've seen ever. Even though the Amazing Spider-Man 2 web swinging scene was pretty good. Even back then, in 2014, when Peter does the web swinging and it zooms into his costume, you can see the wrinkles, the textures of the costume slightly affected by the air, right? And we see it in a Brand New Day. So the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did it earlier. The poses that Spidey does throughout the movie, coming straight from the comic books, and most exciting thing were probably the moves that Spidey does in Brand New Day. Some of these moves are straight from Insomniac Spider-Man games, and it's no-brainer because Tom Holland and Zendaya, they actually played Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, and Tom is a huge fan of the game, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who pitched the idea, like, let's bring some moves. And I'm not talking about only the prison scene versus Ninja where he does the web blossom move, right? There are more scenes with the moves straight from the game, like when he fights Hulk chases Spidey, and then Spidey runs onto the wall, does a backflip and web zips, or the wall web zip. This is so awesome, you know, I was like, yay! When Spidey finally chases the tank, the opening scene ends and we are now in the movie. He opens the tank and there is an old lady, and just as I predicted, my review of the first trailer, of course, the old lady is possessed by no other than Jean Grey, and she does the mind swap thing. She swaps from another person to another. And here comes my first problem. Are you ready, guys? Spider-Man Brand New Day does not have a villain. And I mean the real villain, not Scorpion, you know, not those sidekick jerks, whatever. Since I was at the earliest screening in Europe, one of the earliest ones in Greece, right? People around me were wearing Spider-Man t-shirts, Spider-Man masks, so those were mostly die-hard fans. So when the movie actually told us, there was a reveal that this person is Jean Grey, everybody was like, ooh! Are you guys excited that it's confirmed or she's Jean Grey or what? Because I don't know anybody who thought that, you know, she might not be Jean Grey. But more importantly, I don't know anybody who thought that Sadie Sink's character will actually be a villain. She's presented in a villainous way, just as we talked about, as we predicted, but I felt bad for Sadie Sink the moment she appeared on screen. I knew she's going through some struggles, she's searching for somebody, she's being hunted by Department of Damage Control. She was not a villain to me, apart from certain scenes. When Spidey is chasing people, she mind swaps around, she's like, oh, I'm gonna visit MJ. One of the scenes is where she swaps into an old man, I think some like garbage worker or something, and really old guy, like gray hair and granddad, and he's like, oh, Spidey, try to find me. He stands on the street, she makes him stand on the street, and he gets hit by a car. When I say he gets hit by a car, I mean like GTA 5 get hit by a car. Dude literally probably dies. But Spidey is so concerned about Jean Grey reaching MJ, he doesn't even check the old man. No, that's not what Spider-Man does, you know, he should like, oh my god, are you alright? He literally swings away as the old man like becomes tomato. And that confusement also transfers to Jean Jean Grey. Yeah, we know she's not really bad. She's looking for... At that point, we still don't know if she was looking for her sister, but we knew like she struggles, right? It's the first X-Men in the MCU, right? Towards the end of the movie, we find out, oh, you know, she's not really that bad and everything. We know the Department of Damage Control killed her sister and stuff. Bro, she tried to kill at least 2 people. One of the guys was the Department of Damage Control at top of a rooftop where Scorpion escapes. She does like, oh, he's about to fall down. Thank God Spidey catches him with web. What about that old man, you know? How many more people she might have killed with that mind transition talent, you know? That's pretty crazy. For somebody who says, oh, I'm not so bad, why are you killing? Like, how am I supposed to sympathize with Jean Grey in the future X-Men reboot when we know she really doesn't give a flying duck about random civilians, right? Jean Grey from the comics is not really completely white character. The Dark Phoenix storyline, she has her skeletons, you know, in her closet, but to see something like that, I was genuinely shocked. There was one couple behind me in the theater, I think like in your 50s or 60s. Now, I think they might have thought that this girl in a hoodie is probably, you know, a baddie or something. But does Kevin Feige or whoever, you know, Amy Pascal, Sony, Marvel really thought that we would buy into Sadie Sink's character being evil? Like, did you really think that? So I couldn't see her as villain. It was just impossible for me. Therefore, the entire movie I was waiting for some real mastermind to appear. I knew it was not Tombstone because Tombstone was dealt with pretty quickly at the start of the movie. I knew it's not Hulk because I knew that Hulk will transform back, right? So I was like, there's some crazy stuff. Probably Tramiel Stillman character, you know, Metzger, the head of the Department of Damage Control. I was right, yeah, and many people were right. He was a bad guy, but not the main bad guy, nothing too crazy. Now let's talk about more about Sadie Sink's Jean Grey. Yesterday I already expressed my disappointment. Spider-Man Brand New Day feels more like a backstory for Jean Grey than a... Well, okay, that's a little bit too much. Half of the movie feels like a backstory for Jean Grey, you know? It's just a huge origin story for Jean Grey. She has a sister, Sarah, which by the way is not a random sister. She had a sister in the comics as well, so it's not a made-up character or anything. But I don't remember any other Spider-Man movie where a character was featured as prominent as the Peter Parker himself, given how much screen time Sadie Sink has. In Brand New Day it was a little bit too much. She doesn't really do anything special as well. Department of Damage Control captures her. Oh, by the way guys, now this will be interesting. Don't know how many of you pointed this out or thought about it. So in the movie, Peter creates a chip using Stark tech. He places it on the back of his neck, just like Doc Ock, right? And this suppresses, controls his mutation, right? Later, he uses the same chip he tries to put it on the Hulk, and then he puts it on Jean Grey. That's how Department of Damage Control captures her. The chip basically removes all her powers, right? So let's think about it. Metzger is an evil guy. Towards the end of the movie, he actually escapes. Jean tries to kill him, but he escapes. They know the technology of this chip made by the magical Stark box. And we know that the Department of Damage Control are already hunting for for mutants, for people with special powers. They even created, in Brand New Day it was revealed, they created a special weapon that ignores Spidey's webbing. So they're even preparing for Spider-Man in case he goes rogue. Now, since Metzger escaped with the knowledge of the chip, I wouldn't say 99% sure, but something tells me Department of Damage Control will be the ones who will eventually create these Sentinels. And it's a huge pain in the ass for X-Men in the upcoming X-Men reboot. So I wouldn't be surprised if Peter, without knowing it, once again, like he messed up at the start of the No Way Home, he gave them a clue, and this eventually is like a butterfly effect, where, you know, they know how to control mutants now, you know, and eventually they will turn into this X-Men killing machine. This might come out in future, guys. Keep your eyes open. Now about Peter's transformation. Huge disappointment as well. Yeah, I was waiting for a man spider. I know some people didn't want to see that. I wanted to see it. You know, every single Spider-Man movie has some moment which is like always stuck in your head. Like for example, Spider-Man 2, it's the train scene. Spider-Man No Way Home, it's when the portals open, Andrew and Tobey comes out. I thought like Brand New Day will have that sick crazy moment. where he grows an extra 4 arms, right? Like, oh my god, he's transformed. Nah. Myself and many fans, I'm pretty sure we were convinced that we will see a transformation into Man Spider. The director of the movie is a huge fan of the 90s series, and in that series, as you know guys, Peter transforms into Man Spider, and the trailers and everything was like leading to it, right? Remember the black eyes we saw already? We thought, oh my god, yeah, that's it, it's happening. It starts with the organic webbing. Oh my god. It doesn't happen. It's been more than 24 hours since I seen the movie, and I still have no idea what was the point of this entire transformation storyline. Again, Peter creates the chip, he puts the chip on his neck. Okay, no more organic webbing. Okay, I can put back my web shooters. And then he fights a bunch of ninjas. Jean Grey tries to get into his head. Peter, don't try to live like normal life. We will never have a normal life. You have to decide if you want to be Spider-Man or you want to be Peter. And he removes it, and then he says, I can be both. And he's okay with organic webbing and black eyes, and occasionally releasing that stronger, more powerful version of Spider-Man. So it all comes to, I can be both Peter and Spider-Man. Bro, this is the entire point of Spider-Man. Like every single Spider-Man comic, every single Spider-Man movie, he know that's this struggle is what we like. He balanced between his real life and being Spider-Man. Is this like some sort of a new lesson we're supposed to learn? Oh, I can be Spider-Man and I can be Peter Parker. Is this Homecoming? Is this origin story? The entire point of the transformation was for this? Are you shitting me? I think they tried to replicate the same move as Spider-Man 2, right? Where Tobey loses his powers, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore, and then the speech by Aunt May, the fact that MJ gets kidnapped, by Doc Ock, and then he's like, I still have it. I didn't know, but I still have it. It's all in my head, right? Compare Aunt May's speech in Spider-Man 2, right? The motivation speech where they move out, and compare it with Spider-Man A Brand New Day, where Peter is going through transformation which might have been triggered by stress. He creates a chip, he puts it back. Jean Grey tells him you have to decide to be Peter or not. He removes it and he can say, I can be both Peter and Spider-Man. So yeah, I don't think anybody should learn anything from it, but the stuff you can learn from Brand New Day is the topic of isolation, right? The movie, that's like the main theme of the movie. You don't have to be alone. You have friends, you have people that can talk with you, and this is when John Bertal's Punisher comes into play. Many people praised him for hilarious jokes. Yeah, he's perfect in the movie. He's so funny with Spidey. It feels like they've been friends for many years. He tries to help him take down the Hulk, but that's not the purpose of Punisher. Punisher is in Brand New Day. He's there to be friends with Peter. I'm pretty sure it's never revealed until the end when he accidentally shoots Spidey, and then in the hospital scene, it's just there to support Peter, to tell him you're not alone. Even Peter, when he grabs MJ and he comes to Punisher's boat, he tells, Frank, we have nowhere to go. He's there to tell the audience, to tell everybody, there's always somebody who can help you. And that's super awesome. I said it in my reaction video, I will say it again. John Bertal's Punisher is hilarious once again in the movie, one of the highlights, and especially his interaction with Spider-Man. Just so good. I did not expect it to be so good. MJ and Ned themselves, they don't bring anything new to the fourth installment of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Literally, Ned is Ned, and Zendaya is doing her Zendaya's thing, Zendaya's acting. Nothing much. She found out about the letter that Peter wrote to her. This is important. I'm going to make a prediction, guys, and you either disagree with me or agree with me. When she found out the letter, she says, oh, so you've been struggling, we've been in love before, but you know what, I don't know who you are, I don't love you anymore. That face of Tom Holland. By the way, again, Tom Holland's performance is probably the best out of all of his Spider-Man movies, including Infinity War. He's a good Peter Parker, right? Towards the end of the movie, they do that friend thing with Ned, and Ned remembers Peter, but MJ never remembered who Peter is. They kept this thing in a box. Just remember, MJ still doesn't remember who Peter is at the end of Brand New Day, because if she would, it would be a happy ending and there would be no trigger for Peter in future, in Secret Wars and after, for potential symbiote trilogy. MJ did not break with her boyfriend in Brand New Day, so there is still that trigger which might play a crucial part in terms of Peter's behavior once he gets the symbiote suit and once he gets possessed, you know, he might do something with your boyfriend or go sideways, go crazy, because he's still angry that the love of his life still doesn't care about him too much. Now about the Hulk, Bruce Banner. Hulk of course overwhelms Spidey, even though Spidey has modified Shocker's gauntlet. It's a no-brainer, this is a Savage Hulk version, and of course, as he's about to beat the hell out of Spidey, Peter says like, Bruce, remember me, please remember me. Hulk remembers Peter, you know, Peter is Spider-Man. Before the movie came out, Tom Holland said there's only one person who knows that Peter is Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure he implied it was Jean Grey, right, said his thing, but I said before that there's one person also in the comics who knows that Peter is Spider-Man. It's Hulk, not Bruce Banner. Hulk remembers who Peter is, knows who Peter is, I'm sorry, but Bruce doesn't. That being said, the fight between Hulk and Spidey is just like one of the best Spider-Man fight scenes in any Spider-Man movies, you know. It was just so epic. It was awesome to see Hulk. Bruce has been trying to control this Hulk since Endgame, right? He became the smart Hulk and he kept him in chains. Jean Grey releases the Hulk that's been sitting inside. Now only Hulk now, you know, that's the Savage Hulk. He's so angry. He's been like in prison, right? And again about the transformation, when Peter comes to Bruce for help, you know, he's like, dude, I'm mutating, you know. Peter's trying to tell Bruce, what if I detach the negative part of my transformation, or keep it in check and just be a good guy? And he says like, do you even know like what's good and what's bad? That was really awesome. Anyway, like I said in my prediction video before the release of the movie, I mentioned about the concept of so-called Chekhov's gun, right? I told you guys, when something is established to happen early in the storyline, you know it will happen. There will be a trigger. I gave example about a bomb, you know. At the start of the movie, somebody tells you, okay, this is super dangerous bomb. If somebody presses this button, it will explode. So now the audience knows, and we are anticipating that. We are anticipating the explosion, then the explosion happens. Brand New Day Spider-Man transformation was just like that. Black eyes, you know, web shooters. Okay, he's transforming into Man Spider. He goes to Bruce. Bruce tried to help, you know, he creates the chip. And honestly, when he removed the chip in the prison scene, when he was fighting the ninjas, I said to my wife, I said, that's it. Prepare to see some serious shit. He's about to transform into like Man Spider or something crazy. And then nothing happens, bro. He's just, oh, I can be both Peter and Spider-Man. I don't know, man. Another thing I enjoyed about the movie, it was promised to be a street level adventure, and it was street level adventure. Thank God nothing like earth-ending happened. Yeah, I was expecting the ending, or at least post-credit scene, to be slightly more Doomsday related or Secret Wars related than what we've got. To be honest, this was probably one of the lamest MCU post-credit scenes. It's like on par with Homecoming and Captain America's credit scene, right? It's like Spidey Tracker says that Spidey is now not on Earth, you know. I thought it would be a street level adventure, and then towards the end of the movie something huge happened. Like Peter tells MJ, she remembers who Peter is. Oh, Peter and Ned, it's you, Peter. And then they see a planet coming towards them. The incursion is about to happen. Shit goes sideways. That would be much better than what we've got, to be honest. But still, it was a street level adventure. The entire movie feels like opening a comic book, reading the comic book, closing the comic book, you know. No Way Home was not like that. No Way Home was better than this movie in my opinion, but it was not like that. This movie really feels like a comic book. I wasn't expecting too much from Scorpion, but Michael Manda did well with what he has been given. I remember he was teasing Mark Gargan's transformation into Venom, you know, his Instagram post. I think the guy didn't even know what sort of images he posts and how fans are crazy and making theories about it. We were expecting that Scorpion might get his hands on the symbiote. Nah, Scorpion was really briefly, but I enjoyed him. I enjoyed his sick moves when he was fighting Spidey during night, even though being controlled by Jean Grey. I said it in my reaction video when he sticks the tail into the ground and does a spin kick, right? Oh my god, it was so sick. So yeah, the first thing I said yesterday in my reaction is that the ending of the Spider-Man Brand New Day feels really anticlimactic, right? Entire movie you are waiting for something huge to happen. Maybe guys, maybe, just maybe, we've all been spoiled a little bit. It's very hard to top portal scene with Toby and Andrew. It's very hard to top Endgame which had a built up to like 10 years, so many movies. Marvel spoiled us by bringing some catastrophic events, like some crazy stuff, that like entire world is ending. So when you watch a normal Spider-Man movie like Brand New Day, a street level adventure, you still know, that it's probably full of surprises, like Thanos will not come back, but maybe you will see Doom or something, and nothing happens. The movie just ends. Jean Grey has been dealt with, Department of Damage Control has been dealt with, and it's just like Sam Raimi's trilogy, right? Spidey defeats the villain, he gets the girl, and that's like the classic comic book, and wait for next month until another issue comes out, Maybe it was my own fault for expecting more Doomsday related stuff towards the end of the movie. Of course, Yelena Belova, the new Black Widow, makes appearance. Her scene with Spidey is hilarious. They had such a good chemistry, right? I still don't know where Peter went, and I think nobody does at the end of the movie. Maybe he's been summoned to some ship, to Thor's ship alongside with Fantastic Four, but wait, he's not in Doomsday, so I don't even have any theories where Peter is right now, where did he go? Or maybe the spider tracker showed not Tom's Peter, but he showed another Peter on another world. That's why it's in space, because that other world with Toby or Andrew is approaching Tom Holland's 616 universe. So Spidey tracker says that Spider-Man is there, but it's not Tom who's there. It's Andrew or Toby. I'm a huge fan of the music in movies, right? I've been listening to Danny Elfman's score for Sam Raimi's trilogy on my way to school when I was still a teenager, right? And the score in this movie is fantastic. I really enjoyed Brand New Day theme. The music does make a difference. It's just superb. A crucial turning point in the third act of the movie is when Jean Grey enters Peter's head finally, and she listens to Aunt May's motivation speech, which is, by the way, amazing speech, amazing acting by Marisa Tomei, and she's like, "Oh, so Spider-Man, you're not a bad guy. Okay, I see. We're kinda similar, bro. That's like, I don't know, that's like Superman telling Batman, Martha, save Martha. Oh, your mom is called Martha too. Alright, let's be friends." That's like what happens with Jean and Peter. "Oh, so you've been going through same stuff? Yeah, alright. There's Starbucks, let's grab a coffee, let's go." She probably killed a bunch of people when that explosion happened, when Department of Damage Control, I don't know what was going on there. They somehow unleashed Jean's full potential. By the way, it looks like Jean will be one of the most powerful heroes in future. She's not in Doomsday, right? She probably will be alongside with Scarlet Witch, along with Sentry in terms of power levels, along with Thor, along with Captain Marvel, right? I'm waiting for the Sentry versus Doom showdown in Doomsday. I'm going a little bit out of topic, but I don't think we will see it, guys. I think Sentry will be used as a plot device, just like Hulk in the Infinity War. At the start of the movie, Thanos knocks down Hulk, and you're like, oh my god, Thanos he's a real player, right? Same probably will happen with Sentry, like Doom will unleash the Void and then control him or something, and then you're like, oh my god, if Sentry cannot beat Doom, okay, nobody can. I'm going into different directions again because I started to remember stuff. When Spidey web zipped Hulk, I've been speculating that he will probably use some different type of webbing, because there's even one toy, some toy line for Brand New Day which shows gamma webbing, and I was like, oh yeah, he created new webbing to hold Hulk. This is the savage version of the Hulk, the strongest one. The webbing still holds him, even in the Amazing Spider-Man 1, remember where Peter web-zipped Lizard, made a cocoon, and he's like, I don't care. Even William Dafoe's Green Goblin, the end fight scene in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, Spidey does this and he's like, don't care. And Hulk was like, I cannot move. The movie also drags quite a few times, like some scenes, especially interaction with Peter and MJ on a boat in Punisher's home. They're like talking about, I'm like, bro, we've seen that, we've heard all of that throughout like entire previous trilogy, like let it end, please. So since I said the movie doesn't have the main bad villain, let's just say Brand New Days, the main villain is isolation. is Peter living up with the decisions he made, the mistakes he made, and dealing with those mistakes. So the evil is looking at us right in the mirror, right? It's his own fault, he's trying to fix it, he struggles with it, and slowly, brick by brick, he's trying to bring his normal life back. You could say that. I would still love Tombstone to be the one who actually controlled the Department of Damage Control, who tried to free Scorpion, right? Jean does so much crazy stuff. Or somebody who's a good guy, again, I have to say it, she does some insane stuff, like it's tame in comparison to even Scarlet Witch, Wanda in Age of Ultron, right? She goes nuts. We're approaching the end of my review, of my thoughts, guys. I just wanted to tell you, despite my criticism, I did not hate the movie. You know, I've been always saying my Homecoming review, my Far From Home review, I said, please bring us a standalone Spider-Man story. No more Tony Stark, no more Stark Tech. And Spider-Man Brand New Day is a standalone story. It's a movie about Spider-Man, which unfortunately serves as a backstory for Jean Grey, because Marvel realized that after the Endgame, Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6, they failed building up to Doomsday. You know, nobody even knew Doomsday will come out. Kang supposed to be the bad guy, and now Doom comes in and there's almost no build up. So now you know everything about Jean Grey. So when X-Men comes out, she will be a huge player, and we already know she had a sister. We now already know what she went through. I just wish it would be done a little bit more quickly than that. Spider-Man Brand New Day is a good Spider-Man movie. It has fantastic action, it has fantastic web swinging scenes, fantastic Spidey stuff, web-tastic stuff. It does feel like a comic book. The costume looks absolutely amazing. The acting from Tom Holland is superb, but as you guys heard during like last 30 minutes or something, it does have a lot of issues. Therefore, I'm giving Spider-Man Brand New Day 7 out of 10. That's my final score. I still prefer No Way Home, I still prefer Spider-Man 2, even Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 at top of it, of course, and Brand New Day is probably slightly below Far From Home, maybe on par, but that's just my opinion. Guys, tell me what you think about this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing where Peter ended up. I'm looking forward to see Tom Holland in Secret Wars. Hopefully he will get his hands on symbiote on the battle world, just like the comic books, and then he comes back to Earth, you know, and symbiote messes up with his mind, and then he remembers, oh my god, love of my life, she still has a boyfriend, she doesn't remember MJ, doesn't remember who I am, and this is the triggering point for the evil Spidey, and that's how we can get the entire symbiote trilogy as well. And then Tom Holland retires, and eventually Miles Morales will probably take his place as Spidey in the MCU. See ya guys, thanks for watching, and bye bye.